at this point that I'm going to just do a tweet where I'm going to take every conspiracy theory around this and just list it one after the other. I got paid by Rock Nation. Jay-Z paid off the jury, and he paid off the judge and did a verse for the judge's grandson.
So I'm not here to sit up there and absolve anybody from anything. I'm saying, why would we jump to that conclusion? Why would we do that, particularly when it comes to somebody the likes of Michael Jordan? It's a legitimate question.
I had grew a disdain for Wayne. I started listening to everything. Like, this nigga wasn't talking about nothing. And I had to look like, man, what are the songs where he really talked about something, gave? And out of a 1,000-song catalog, you know, it's minute on this end.
I'm telling you, today we are going to be talking about those and more.
Yes.
What's up, Triborough? How you doing?
Salute. How you doing today?
Man, I got to take a nap, so I'm good. I love it when I get to come home at a decent time, take a nap, spend some time with the family, and, you know, do our thing.
Yeah,
Luna, salute.
Salute.
Our guy, always in here, first one. Big supporter. We appreciate you. Where do you want to start first? I really want to start with the whole Vlad thing.
Let's go with that.
Okay. First of all, anybody that thought, and I know that this is to get publicity, this is to get tweets, this is to get reposts. They get paid off for all that.
Right.
And, you know, to take the most outlandish thing that you could think of, I mean, anybody who believed that was actually true, I'm sorry, you are an idiot.
Yeah.
If you think that, Jay is going to risk all of his business ventures off of something like that over Megan Thee Stallion in all this case that wouldn't even bring him close to what he makes,
right,
you're out your mind. Rock Nation has their hands in so many different things. They're not going to ruin that. So I loved all the stories that came out, all this stuff. I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah.
What did you think?
I think, I don't pay too much attention to Vlad because I know he goes for the views and the clickbait and, like he really was the one that got the ball rolling on that, Nas is a bad beat picker. I didn't hear nothing like that before Vlad, right? And then having Lord Jamar from Brand Nubian on the show all the time, and then he's talking about, oh, well, Eminem has to wipe his feet on the floor of hip hop. I'm like, what is that? Come on, like we really doing this now? You taking our own people and twisting the narrative on different artists, and I just stopped watching Vlad after a while. So I'm not surprised at what he's doing now. Is just he's doing this for clickbait. You know what I'm saying? There's no place in this culture for that stupidness. You know what I'm saying? And I don't like Vlad. I just think he's a troll and he's not true to the art. He's not true to the culture.
Yeah, and unfortunately, trolling is money. You know what I mean? And what I think is really crazy is how he's always got the same people on. He's the one that literally destroyed the game because now all these people who think they are somebody now wants to be, oh, well, I want this much to even look at your show. I want this, I want that. He is the first one that started paying all these people to be on his channel, and he's splitting profits with them. Like, I guess if we were big and we had big people on here and they said, hey, I won't charge you, but whatever you make off the episode, I want 10%.
Right.
All right. I can see that, especially if it's somebody big, worthwhile. But when you're somebody that's not even at a high level tier anymore, and we're just trying to get you re-recognized into the game, like, hey, you're still a dope artist, you're still a dope whatever, and you trying to charge us? Come on. So to me, I think he just kind of ruined everything about the game, everything about how, feds. I don't think he's working with the feds, but there are interviews that were being used in cases.
Yeah.
So, I just kind of think Vlad he said it. He's gonna take the most outlandish thing,
Right.
tweet it, and people just ate it up.
Yeah.
And I think it was over like 100 million views, retweet, posts, videos, 100 million
Right.
within one day. And I looked at my wife and I'm thinking to I was like, I wonder if I should jump on this like now. She goes, nah, I wouldn't even bother. She's like, there are going to be so many idiots already trying to do that. Just wait till the dust settles a little bit.
Right.
So I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, unfortunately there's an audience for, the gossip and the tea and the drama, and I stay away from that. I don't feel like there's a place in this culture for that. You know what I'm saying? It should still be all about the music and what the artist is, has going on outside of who they're dating or who they got beef with, and they have an audience for that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he's in that lane.
Yeah, I wish it was about the music still and about the lyrics and the friendly battles, like not the battles that led to Big and Pac type of stuff or
Right.
Getting into fist fights, but like let's just have a good battle, you know what I'm saying? A good back and forth. Why were Nas and Jay able to, go back and forth at each other so much and never get into a fist fight? Rick Ross and Jeezy, they got into a fist fight backstage somewhere. So that's, immaturity. If y'all are just going at each other and having fun, boom, just have fun. Right. You know what I mean? I don't think there's a need for all the violence. I don't know why you have to be checked.
Luna said his biggest interview was Tekashi 6ix9ine. I didn't watch it.
Yeah, I didn't watch it either. I don't. Again, if you're gonna do the crime, you better be able to do the time. And it's not that. Again, somebody talking and ratting, you don't know what you would truly do until you're in that position. So I can't say I wouldn't do that. You don't know. I mean, who knows? And I know people are going to look at that like, oh, you. I just don't think I knew Tekashi was he was corny.
Yeah.
I mean, none of his lyrics were dope at all. And that's another one. Vlad, big on dinner interviews with Lil Boosie, 6ix9ine, and Tony Yayo. And now Tony Yayo and Uncle Murder got their own show. I think it's like Real Talk or Real Life or something like that. And they're already blown up. And they're using Joe and Jada's platform. And it's already blown up. And I don't want to hear Uncle Murder stories. I think the dude is whack. I never thought he was a dope lyricist. And I think he's corny.
Yeah. I agree.
Especially what him and Ja did, and we'll get to that in 1 second. I refuse to do gossip and clickbait context because it's not worth it. Yeah. But to some people, to me, it's interesting to read. I like to read it. I like to laugh. And my wife is highly intelligent. So when I show her, she'll be laughing and, and I'll send you stuff. I'll send my other boys, Ray, all them Reg. I'll be like, yo, look at this shit. And it's funny to me because we're not going to believe it.
Right.
Nas is a bad beat picker. Like,
crazy.
Come on, bro. I don't
care the fact that people ran with that narrative. I'm like, bro, I've never heard that about Nas. And I'm like, if you're gonna single out Nas, single out LL Cool J. There's many others that had garbage albums for the last 20, 25 years. I ain't hear their names called for whatever reason. He calls out Nas.
Yeah, and it's just again because it's a big name. Again, clickbait. You're just trying to get whatever rise you can out of that. Speaking of Ja, Uncle Murder, Tony. All right, first of all, I'm sorry. I know Tony Yayo's a real tough guy. I got my money on Ja on a one-on-one. Ja's shorter. He's quicker. He's bigger. He's not sloppy. I think Tony Yayo's sloppy. I think the only reason why he talks shit like that is because he had an entourage and Ja Rule did not. And Uncle Murder, again, who are you?
Right.
What do you do? What have you brought to the hip hop game besides? Because I know somebody's gonna call me out on this. Besides the yearly wrap up, what has he done for hip hop?
No, he have no album. His mixtapes was forgettable. You know, I was never a fan of his. I've seen
Me
him
neither.
I've only seen him in concert because of 50 Cent, because 50 Cent brought him on stage. But he wasn't, it's not like he performed any songs. He didn't have no hit records, you know what I'm saying? Just the thought of them doing that on a public plane, like, come on, like they gotta grow up. Like this whole thing with 50 Cent and Ja Rule, 50 Cent wasn't even there. So you got his henchmen, basically, who's Uncle Murder and Yayo, that's fighting his battles for him. You know what I'm saying? I just thought that was it's just stupid and immature. It's like, come on, like y'all doing this on a public plane? It's not worth going to jail over. You know?
Thoughts on Jim using his foot as a battering ram? I did see that video. Hey, you know what? You don't pay rent. You don't pay your mortgage. You don't pay. They're gonna evict you. And 50, and here it is. This is another thing. 50 kept saying, "Keep running your mouth, and I'll have you evicted," because he knows people. If there's one thing that trolling has taught me, is 50 is king. Nobody can beat 50 when it comes to trolling. And I just thought it was hilarious. You know? Yeah, what they're doing is embarrassing. I totally agree with that.
Luna said he was signed to Rock. I don't remember Uncle Murder being on Rock.
Yeah, he did that one album where he had that song with Jay-Z, Brooklyn, New York, like.
Oh, that joint? So he had a whole album on Rock Nation?
Not under Rock Nation. It was under Rockefeller. It was before Rock Nation was formed.
Wow.
And it was, that's why you don't even remember it.
I don't remember.
Again, you know, there are so many other artists that had better albums, yet, you know, the only thing Uncle Murder does is the yearly wrap up. That's it. There's nothing else that he brings.
That's something that Mad Skills started, and Mad Skills does it better than him.
Yeah. Mad Skills. Yeah. Always. Yeah. He's grown ass adults. And that's, unfortunately, that's the sad truth. Like, it's because they got to keep that street cred. They gotta feed so that they have something to go viral. And because of that, and because everybody's I'm with Tony Yayo and Uncle Murder, and everybody disrespects the shit out of Ja Rule whenever they can, which I don't understand. He still sells out stadiums. He still has #1 albums, and he has still sold more records than 50 Cent.
Exactly.
Let's get down to the harsh reality. He has still sold more records than 50 Cent. The only thing that 50 has on him is the first album. And realistically, it's only because of Dre. It's only because we're backing him. I'm sorry. I will. If he would have came out with Power of a Dollar under Columbia, that album would have done none of the numbers.
Bro, I have Fabulous album you talking about, From Something to Nothing, and I still don't remember that song that Uncle Murder was on.
Yeah, you don't need to.
I don't remember.
His verse is whack. So, yeah. Yes, Something for Nothing. Yeah. But I know he had an album. I just can't think of it.
I remember one song he did with Wyclef. I think it was called Informer, because they played that on the radio. That's the only song I remember from Uncle Murder ever. I never heard no mixtape or album from him.
It wouldn't happen. 50 Cent and Ja could never be on stage together. 50 Cent is too immature. I think Ja Rule he tried to put this behind him. He tried to leave it alone. He wasn't saying nothing about him. And, 50 still went at him with everything he's got and said, "I'm not stopping until I can spit on your grave." Like this.
And Ja still has a following. He still has an audience. Like last year at Summer Jam, and he was the headliner. Everybody was checking out that performance, and he brought out all the artists on Murder Inc. and they did a tribute to Irv Gotti, and it was wonderful. That's the best part of the Summer Jam last year.
Yeah, so I remember you telling me that when Ja came out, the whole crowd went wild.
Yes, look, dressed all in white, had all white on, and it's like a unification for Irv Gotti. He did all his hit records. He did stuff with Charlie Baltimore. She was there, and only when I was missing was Ashanti, but we know why. But everybody on Murder Inc. that was a part of that legendary label at one point, they were on stage with them, and he killed it. He still got it. Yeah,
he still got it, and I think he could still put together good written songs.
Right.
Unfortunately, 50 to me is more of the singles guy.
Yeah.
Like after his first album,
I don't
please
want to
tell
do
me
that.
another album that you could
I
just
don't want to
sit with.
shortchange 50 because I love Power the Dollar. It got shelved. No, it didn't come out because he had gotten shot 9 times, and then Columbia dropped him. That was a classic album he had came out, right? Then you got when he blows up on the mixtape scene with G Unit, he gets signed for $1 million with Shady and Aftermath. Get What You Die Trying was a classic. Then you got the Massacre. Massacre was a great sophomore album. I don't know why people shit on it now, but when it came out, it had all the buzz. It's soul records, and I like Curtis was okay. He had too many R&B features on that album though. You know what I'm saying? But I do feel like he has 3 certified classics when it comes to Powder Dollar, Give It to Die Trying, and The Massacre. And then after that, that's when he started to tail off. And then he had issues with Interscope when they kept pushing back before I Self-Destruct. So he had issues with the label at that point, and then that didn't sell. And then he was still doing mixtapes though. He was still doing War Angel. He was doing the Street Kings Immortal mixtape. He was still coming up with fire mixtapes, but he had issues with Interscope, and eventually he ended up leaving and going to television. But I don't want to shortchange him. I feel like he has his first 3 were classic. Not counting I'm counting Powder Dollar, but his first 3, including Powder Dollar, was like his best albums. Salute Uncle Freezy.
Is that who that?
Yes.
Is that who that? All right. Salute Uncle Freezy. Okay. I find myself playing Vinny Vici more than I do, 50's real debut album.
Right.
For me, I just think that Vinny Vici is a little bit more well put together, very well organized. I like the songs. He wasn't just trying to go hard on every track. So for me, that album has a little bit more, it's a little bit more higher up on the statue. But everybody's different in hip hop. I can understand the hype. Again, he had Eminem. Eminem killed that feature.
Yeah.
He had Dre beats, M beats. I mean, and then following it up with G Unit, Lloyd Banks literally blew my mind when I first heard Lloyd Banks.
Yeah.
So I get where people are coming from, but single for single, I would have to. It would be a real close race because 50 got singles. 50's got club bangers.
Oh yeah.
But Ja has got R&B club bangers.
Yes.
So for me, it depends on the crowd. If the crowd is hard, then I think 50's going to get that a little bit more. If the crowd is women, even now to this day, my wife is not into hip hop like that. But throw on some Ja Rule and Ashanti songs, and she'll be all over it.
Yeah.
All day. She's in the background all day. So, it's just one of those things where it just hits you differently. It makes you feel good. I don't always want to feel miserable when I listen to hip hop.
Right. Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and that's another reason why I enjoyed J. Cole's album, because he had a lot of grown man joints on there.
Right.
Do I think it's a classic? No. But it was a good, album.
It's a good double album, but not a classic.
No, not a classic. It is not a Wu-Tang forever.
No.
It won't go down as a what's the other double CD there?
Life After Death, All Eyes on Me.
Man, I tell you, man. See, this is why I need you on this podcast, because you be remembering. Okay, Michael Jordan. Let's get on this real quick. You saw the video. I think everybody saw the video. And people are reacting, throwing away their. I'm sorry. That video is not what it looks like.
No.
One of the dumbest things I've ever seen, throwing away your Jordans. And I can guarantee you, after all you punk asses threw away the Jordans, after the video was done, you opened that lid back up and took them right back out. I bet you if you look in those trash cans, if they showed a good angle on all those people that were doing that, I bet you that's the cleanest freaking trash barrel you ever seen.
Facts. Salute, Danny. What up? Salute.
What up, Danny? You know, I just feel like jumping to that conclusion, I can't. The fact that people even believe that that's what he was doing, not even looking into it, and then I see mad, rich, uptight white women jumping in like they even knew who. You don't even know how many points Michael Jordan's game average was. You know what I'm saying? And you're gonna come in. How dare you? Da 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 da. You're touching. Come on, man. It's crazy. What did you think when you first saw the video? Did you see what everybody else was?
No, I thought that people were just jumping to conclusions with the video and already, you know, claiming that he's this, he's that. I'm like, he's taking ice out of the kid's, you know, pants or whatever, or shirt or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it looked like to me. It didn't look like he was doing anything bad. He's not R. Kelly. He's not that. You know what I'm saying? And
I mean, even R. Kelly didn't go that young,
right?
And he
you know
didn't
what I mean?
go
He's not. I felt like they just were jumping on Jordan for no reason. I'm like, really? Like, this is a legend. Like, he's NBA basketball. He is the face still to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I hated Jordan when he would play my Knicks, but I knew, like, yo, even back then in the 90s, like, he was a legend.
Yeah, I mean, and he's always going to remain a legend. Yeah. I think he is always going to remain a GOAT, just like as much as people don't like to admit it. Tom Brady will remain a GOAT.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Yes. To me, Michael Irvin will always remain a GOAT. Right. Emmitt Smith will always be a GOAT. There can be many GOATs, but we, you know, to be one in Jordan's prime, I don't think anybody could go one-on-one with him today. Right. Not a nobody.
It's very few that really gave him a battle. Gary Payton, Magic, you know, Bird, of course. You know, he had legendary rivalries with Larry Bird, and it's very few that could really hold their own with Jordan at you know, back then. It's not too many.
Yeah, and even if you weren't a Bulls fan, you were still a Michael fan at the end of the day.
Right.
And you were, you know, and a lot of that has to also do with the team structure. You know, when you look at the years that he was like when they won championships and did really well, you're looking at Scottie Pippen being that guy that was always right there with him. Right. You know, Rodman always getting them rebounds, always pushing the boundaries, getting those fouls for Jordan. I mean, there's so many different aspects. It's not just one person that makes the entire team win an entire season, but you know, it's also the help of the team that he's got, and the entourage, and the people that are around him. Because you could be the best in the world, and if you got a shitty team behind you, now you got to worry about the other guys on the court as well, because these guys ain't going to help you.
Right.
So for people to start throwing away Jordan's legacy and labeling him that, and personally, a little bit of me thinks because he won $1 billion. In the NASCAR lawsuit, I think maybe they were trying to catch him in something.
They don't want his kind in that sport.
Exactly. And his team is doing rather well. Right. So, you know, again, who knows? You know, but I'm never going to take away that man's legacy, just like I never took away Hogan's, or I didn't stop listening to R. Kelly. I'm not going to stop watching the Cosby Show or Ghost Dad or any. It's your own personal life, you know. Yeah, and Kevin Spacey. You mean to tell me I'm supposed to stop watching Kevin Spacey movies? You watch your mind.
Seven was a classic. Come on.
Yeah. And that was probably one of the greatest villain like entries.
Bro, you know Hogan was my introduction to wrestling, Unc. That's he's number one for me. Like if it wasn't for Hogan, there would be no John Cena. There would be no Batista.
Listen,
or Roman Reigns.
One thing we're gonna get straight, and I know this is gonna come up when we do future episodes. Hogan is wrestling. We've had Ric Flair, we've had Billy Super Graham, we had all these other legends. Bret Hart was probably one of the greatest in the ring, mechanic wise, move wise. The sharpshooter was one of my favorite holds. But when it came to it, him he and Vince McMahon dominated the world.
Yeah.
Not just a section.
Mm-hmm.
So I cannot take away Hogan's legacy. No way.
Again, what he did outside of the ring, it was bad. And I understand why people don't like him, but inside the
Yeah.
ring, he
Yeah.
changed wrestling, like wrestling entertainment. That was all him.
He did, and he will hit again to late 70s to now babies.
Mm-hmm.
We
Yeah.
looked up to him.
Mm-hmm.
We really believe the line, eat your vitamins, say your prayers.
Yes.
Like we
Yes.
really believe that shit.
Mm-hmm.
So, he was just something else. He was built different. And again, when it comes to wrestling, if anybody says he didn't contribute anything, or you are out your mind, he is wrestling to me. So I can't never take that. But Jordan legacy, his I'm not looking at him like that, and I can't.
Rayshon got something to say. He said, "I'm not listening to those people. I'm not throwing away Fred Albert. Stop R. Kelly's music just because of people being in their feelings. It doesn't excuse the actions."
Yeah, no, and I agree. Again, when the whole thing with Michael Jackson, people were burning Michael Jackson vinyls, and look, I'm not gonna stop listening to Michael Jackson.
Right.
Bad is still my favorite album.
The one thing I remember coming home from school and seeing Michael on Oprah and him, that's just when it first came out and he's defending himself. And the one thing I always wondered was, like, as a parent, how is your kid spending the night at Neverland Ranch? Even if it is Michael Jackson, even if you think he's still a stranger to you. You don't know this guy.
Yeah.
Even though he's a beloved pop star to us, but we don't know how he is behind closed doors. So how are you leaving your 6-year-old at Neverland Ranch?
Yeah, hanging out with him, at the park during the day. And my wife would still be, I would still be by my son's side. Mm-hmm. I don't care if you are a celebrity. Right. When I used to take my son to the park, we did not take our eyes off of him. Right. We were in there. I was in the play set playing with him, swinging on the swings with him, pushing him on the swings, because I don't know people. I don't know the people around me. I'm just there to go to the park to have my son. And this is why my son is very open to everybody, every color, every race. He doesn't discriminate, because since he was small, we taught him, I'm half black, half German. My wife's Italian and Indian. So I'm sorry, Sicilian. So we wanted to teach him that this is culture. You got to love everybody the same. You got to show respect. Right. But I'm not going to let you out my sight. And I'll be damned if I let you spend the night over somebody's house, regardless if I know them like that or not. Right. It was only family that we ever allowed. And it took us a long time to even trust other parents. We would have the kids come to our house. Yeah. And they wanted to be over our house anyway. We're the cool house with all the movies. Yeah. But, and food. So, yeah, I wouldn't have let my kid stay. I don't care how much he would have begged me. And my father wouldn't have did that either. He wouldn't have stay with Michael. Yeah, it was all the setup.
We didn't have like sleepovers. That wasn't going on,
No. That was all the setup.
Yeah, so and then like, I mean, R. Kelly is to blame too, but again, it's like, where are the parents for these teenage girls? What like, you don't know where your 13-year-old daughter is at night?
Yeah, at night is a little crazy. During the day, I mean, we do come from the generation of don't come home till the street lights come on.
Right.
Be home before the street lights come on. You know what I'm saying? So we are from that generation of just going outside. We didn't have all this communication, technology, all this shit. So we had to go outside, or we were just stuck in the house.
But I remember when we going outside to play in the summer, we didn't even want to come inside. But 8:30, and the sun is like still outside. We didn't want to come in. We wanted to stay out as long as we could.
Yeah, we was drinking out of the garden hose because we didn't have all these electrolytes shit like that. We did some wild shit growing up. I remember just going to the woods, getting lost, and somehow I'm still home before the streetlights came on.
Right. Yeah.
So I don't, you know, my 13-year-old daughter, if we had a daughter, my wife would know where she was at all times. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not just gonna let her roam like that. Even our 15-year-old, you know, when he goes and rides his bike, he goes around the block. And we live in a very tight-knit neighborhood. We know all of our neighbors. But if my son was to ask dad, can I go 3 blocks down? No, you can't. Because I don't know those people. I don't know who you're around.
Right.
So, you know, yeah, that's just all parenting and it's all set up. They just wanted his money.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Facts.
that's just my thing about it. All right, Cam
Uh-oh.
and J. Cole.
Uh-oh.
Now I know this is a little bit of an older subject and it's been touched on thousands of times and how people feel about it. Try, what are your thoughts on it? How do you feel about it?
Cole taking another L, because I mean it's bad enough you took that first L when you made the apology and not to battle Kendrick, and people considered you one of the best of the modern era, the big three or whatever it is that they calling it, and you bought out of that, so you took an L up with that, okay, and then you're counter suing Cam because him and Cam made a verbal agreement when he Cole sampled the I'm Ready track from the Dipset Diplomatic Immunity Volume 1 album, a classic double album. And Cam, I guess on a verbal handshake, he agreed that they wasn't he didn't want to get paid, but he wanted Cole to do a feature with him or to come on his podcast with him and Mace. And Cole refused to do it. And I feel like it's both of their fault. I think Cam should have already had coming, because he's not doing that to everybody. If you on Wiz Khalifa's album, you're not saying, "Oh, I'm gonna do this for free." Wiz, you're gonna have Wiz Khalifa pay you, right?
Yeah.
A lot of artists, when they do features, they have an artist fee, and then they split the publishing, 50-50. And apparently Cam didn't do that. Like I blame Cam for that. You should have told Cole up front, I'm on $500,000 for this feature, and I want to split the publishing on the record. Because the record was on Mike Delete Later. You know what I'm saying? And he didn't do that. And J. Cole reneged on his agreement to come on his podcast with him and Mace. And now he's suing Cole, and I think Cole is counter suing or whatever. And
they're just trying to get it dismissed.
Yeah, but I'm like, they both at fault for that. Like I blame Cam and I blame Cole. I'm like, Cole, you can't be in court, but not right after the whole thing with Drake and Kendrick. The same battle that you brought out of. You know what I'm saying? So it makes him look some type of way. I'm like, you're taking 2 L's right now.
Yeah. And I also think, what's funny about it is that when the whole Kendrick and, that whole Drake battle in court went down, Cam was talking mad shit about how Drake is going after his label, claiming them of all this stuff. He should be ashamed. They're the ones that made him his money, blah, 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 blah. Go back and listen to that. And now, when it's your money, now all of a sudden it's I don't really want to talk about that, but yeah, Cam, So to me, you're a hypocrite,
right?
Because you're making fun of somebody for doing something that he feels strongly about, that he's losing out on money, and now you're doing it. So that was the whole Drake thing. It was only, he said he lost money because they were pushing Kendrick's single out there.
Right.
And they were doing it. And now we're coming to find out that Drake is doing it as well. Drake has an entire thing.
What's hypothetical? He said hypothetical.
So hypothetically, for me, they were on a handshake, right? Let's get right down to the business.
Yes.
If you remember when McDonald's gave away their name to my man, go watch the movie The Founder, what did they do? A handshake.
Right.
No paperwork, no nothing. And what did he do? He took them for billions of dollars and bought out and bankrupted their restaurant to no longer use the name McDonald's.
Right.
And now the guy owned the entire franchise plus the real estate. The real estate that every McDonald's is on is owned by McDonald's. That's where they really make their money. To me, a feature from Cameron is not worth $500,000 for a feature. Secondly,
Yo, ladies.
yeah, what?
Well,
Yes.
my thing is like this. Like, why did Cam decide like I'm not gonna charge Cole? Like, even if you have respect for him, he's still an artist at the end of the day. Just like
Yeah.
Jay-Z, you collaborated with Jay on Come Home With Me. I'm pretty sure Jay had to pay, right? You collaborated with Wiz Khalifa on his second album, Mac Miller, so many other artists that he's done features with. I'm pretty sure he didn't do it for free. So why did he pick Cole and say, "Oh well, on the respect of I respect your music or whatever, I'm gonna do this for free for you, but I want you to come on my podcast"? Like he still should have charged him.
Yeah.
You know, or at least tell Cole, okay, I'm not gonna charge you for the feature, but I do want to split the publishing with you on the record.
Yeah. And then they could have discussed, 50-50 or 40-60.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They could have had some kind of percentage where Cole got a majority and Cam got a nice little chunk.
Right.
But again, I don't think that one song that he used or J. Cole being on his podcast would have brought in nearly anything of $500,000. So I think Cam is suing for way too much money.
So the thing is, Cole don't do a lot of interviews, and I can see why, because immediately, any show that he do, they're gonna ask him about the apology.
Yeah.
Why did you back out of battling Kendrick? And he doesn't want to answer that. So I can understand why he's not doing interviews, and you see him riding across country in his Civic and he's selling the CDs or whatever. That's his promotion for his album. He's not doing podcasts or whatever. I get it. But I still blame Cam. Even if we think Cam's feature is not worth $500,000. That's if the artist is willing to pay that, that's what he's worth. You know what I'm saying? If J. Cole is willing to pay that, then pay that man. But I feel like as an artist, like Cam been in the game longer than Cole. He's been through label problems, and for him to even look at Cole like, oh, like I respect your music, I'm not gonna charge you. He fucked up doing that. That's on him.
Yeah, he should have known.
That's on him.
He should have known, especially with all the turmoil he went through with Koch Records.
Exactly.
And all these what was the first dude that signed him? That I forgot. That Jay-Z stabbed homeboy.
Oh, Lance on the Rebel, right?
Yeah. Rivera.
And then going to Epic Records. There was a time when Epic wasn't pushing his albums, and he was like, "Oh, the label department, they have people there that dressed in moccasins. They didn't know nothing about hip hop.
Yeah.
Right? So how are you going to promote an artist from Harlem? You know what I'm saying? And then Dame Dash, credit to Dame, he got him off of Epic and onto Rockefeller, and that's when he made his run with Dipset.
Yeah. And
this is the time when Jay and Dame is starting the feud, because Jay was pissed off at Dame for signing, Dipset and signing Nori, signing ODB. So he was not on board for that, and they were beefing even when Dipset had that run.
Yeah, and if you listen to the Dipset stories, like all these interviews they do, and Myth Bleak saying like, when the Dipset was there, they just ran up in studios. They did whatever they wanted because they had the protection of Dame. And at the time, Jay was trying to separate himself from that because he had bigger business ventures that actually worked. Unlike Dame Dash, who I feel is a real culture vulture, that he has failed. Everything that Dame has put his hands on has failed. So that CO clothing line that he came out with was Trizash.
Right.
I mean, everything. He'll never have another Rockaware. He'll never have another Rockefeller. You'll never have another Jay-Z. You will never have that again because you're not good at business anymore. So for me, you're right. Cam should have said, hey, listen, just give me 20% of what the song makes.
Right.
Boom.
And then we'll split the publishing. That's what he should have did.
Yeah.
Because you're doing that for every other artist. Why is J. Cole special?
Yeah. I don't know why he didn't charge J. Cole. You charged Hell Rel.
Exactly.
40 Cal.
Exactly.
Max B.
Yep.
Jim Jones. You charged all your own people to be on their albums and to get a percentage of them. But you didn't charge J. Cole. And I think you were kind of on to something. I think he wanted to get him in there to interview, to ask him about the big three, why did he back out? And there might have been a point where Cam maybe would have tried to make J. Cole look like a bitch. And
Well,
maybe J. Cole saw through it.
but he's not going to get on nobody's, not even Apple Music. He's not going to get on nobody's platform because that's what they're going to ask him.
Yeah.
And we're not asking him about the double album and, you know, in Dreamville. He ain't answering no questions about why the apology.
Yeah. And you know, I wish I could reach out to him and say, hey, we don't want to know about the apology. I don't give a fuck. I like the music.
Right, exactly.
You know, and again, there are plenty of artists that have backed out of battles before that have still been very successful. You know, and he did what he did. I don't look at him any different. I know Fat Joe does, and he talks shit and all that, but Fat Joe's never won a battle, so I don't know why he's even talking.
That part.
You know, he never won a battle. Joe Buttons ate him up. Jay-Z ate him up. I mean,
50 Cent.
He has literally got 50 Cent ate him up. He has gotten swallowed by everybody. So, you know, I don't get even why he even said that.
Right.
All right, last subject of the day, and I know this is the one you originally wanted to touch on, so I'm gonna let you really dive into this one. There are artists on the list that I could put, but I don't agree.
And this all comes from the artist La Russell. I think he was on Academics podcast.
He was on somebody's podcast.
Yeah, and he was talking about how, you know, Lil Wayne's music has no substance, and I'm like, well, what part is he lying about? Because I've always felt like that about Weezy. Weezy is dope. He has big hits, but when it comes down to it, the song content, he's not rapping about nothing at all. He's been doing this forever. You know what I'm saying? It's like, why did it take now for La Russell to come out and say that, and people is in the uproar like he don't know what he's talking about? You know what I'm saying? And it's like he literally had to backtrack. He made a second video where he's like walking in the street and he's saying, "Oh, I love Lil Wayne. He inspired me to be a rapper." But at the same time, what you said was true about Weezy. Like, he don't have no song substance. Okay, a lot of his songs was about women, or was about the club, or just bragging. It was nothing that people could relate to. Okay, he might have had like one song, "I Miss My Dogs." He talked about dead homies. That was cool, but that was like over 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay, like when you do a song like "Prostitution Slang," that was about Superhead. Not everybody could relate to that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, and then the list I saw with Joe Budden's response to it, and he put up the list from Business Insider and the artists that they have on that list. I'm like, y'all really think Eminem didn't have no song substance? It was DMX. They bugging.
Yeah, that's bugging right there.
You know what I'm saying? Like Eminem is the only artist I know that can come out with a hit song that's about his mom, and then years later come out and do an apology about the very same mother that he shitted on you know, Clean Out My Closet.
Yep. And not only that, but and with Eminem, here's the part that kills me, is that when he did actually try to be different and actually put substance, real life, what was going on at the time, substance,
right?
We hated him for it.
Facts.
Because Revival is still
don't like that.
A really bad album for me. I can't get down with it. I still can't even. I do not like the fact that he even touched anything from the legendary Cranberries.
Right.
I did not like it. So even if he was to start making all these albums with actual substance that maybe whatever reason this guy wants to hear,
right?
Joe Buttons wants to hear. Look, Joe Buttons, I love you. I love mood music, but not everybody can make mood music.
No.
And that's the thing that Joe has never understood about the hip hop game, is that not everybody wants to be in their feelings 100% of the time.
Right.
You know, and I hate it when Joe be writing shit sometimes because he's not thinking with a straight head. Right. DMX not having substance.
Crazy.
Have you heard Slippin'?
Exactly.
Have you heard Stop Being Greedy?
Yep.
That is the other thing, is that people don't listen to music. They hear a beat, they hear a hook, and they're done.
Right.
They don't really care about the verses because everybody made Up in Here, you know, Party Up in Here, DMX's joint, a club banger
Right.
It's not a club banger. Go and listen to the verses.
Right.
It is not a club banger, but the beat and the hook are dope, and that's what gives you the club banger.
Right.
So to say that he has no substance, you might as well say Biggie had no substance. You might as well say Big Pun, that my man Justin just said Pun was a better rapper. Yeah, I honestly believe some of the rumors that were going around that when Pun died, he found Pun's rhyme book.
Yeah.
Because all of a sudden he got real dope.
Well, I mean, I don't want to shit on Joe, like Fat Joe, like 90s Fat Joe. His first 3 albums were classic. Like Represent, Jealous One's Envy, Don Cartagena. That's the Fat Joe era that I love. And he switched after Pun died. He became more mainstream, and I get it. But we knew that Pun was helping him write when it came to the Don Cartagena album. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's like he stepped his game up when he saw Pun go platinum, first Latino rapper ever to do that. Yeah. And Joe was like, oh, I want to do that too.
Yeah. And I really believe, that Fat Joe has been, even though he tells wild stories, who knows if they're true or not. I mean, some of them you could tell they're way too outlandish. But to me, I don't think, I don't believe that he jerked Pun's family. I don't believe he jerked his wife. I believe he did literally give them everything, and she didn't know how to spend money.
But why not reach out to Chris Rivers and help him out with his career?
He tried. He tried. And Chris literally basically said, if I do that, my mother will never speak to me again. So he is the one holding his own career back.
Yeah, but he's grown now. Like, he gotta, as an artist, you gotta be your own artist and be like, yo, I'm gonna work with Joe because my father, he was in Terror Squad with Joe and they made some of the best music then.
Yeah, not only that, but like, besides Joe and Remy and Pun, I liked Cuban Link.
I love Cuban Link.
But I do. I loved, especially when he did the solo joints. I loved him when he did Flowers for the Dead. That song was fucking heart touching. Yeah. Like, that made grown men cry.
Facts.
Okay. Missing You did not do that.
Right.
But Flowers for the Dead for Big Pun made grown men cry.
Right.
So that's a beautiful song. I give it to Cuban Link. But even Cuban Link having a falling out with Fat Joe and trying to say all this shit, and like, Fat Joe tried to help him too. Right. Like, yo, we could still continue. Y'all the ones that want to do bad business. That's the problem.
Right.
I think that's the problem with a lot of the game. It's just bad business. And it's so saturated, so soiled. Record labels are literally selling themselves to Spotify, Apple. They're selling their entire business, not just an artist catalog.
Right.
And that was one of the things I heard Joe talk about was dead. Labels are dead.
Yeah.
And they really almost are. Now you can directly get into a plug and, I'm sure there's a way to get a hold of Pharrell to get a beat. I'm sure there is. You know what I'm saying? It's just that we don't know those avenues. But if you know somebody that knows somebody, I'm sure, Hell Rell still has avenues that he could touch out to. Or, or Joel Santana, even though lately they've been saying he's a crackhead now. Them pictures was crazy. God. You seen that shit?
Oh, yeah.
Did you see that?
I saw it.
They said he lost everything. And I don't know if it's true or not, because everything could be doctored. Right. But when's the last time you heard Cam or any of these dudes drop Joel Santana's name?
Joel's, he just had a fall from grace, but he was one of those dudes when he first came out. His first 2 albums were great. He was the MVP on Diplomatic Immunity.
And I still think, even though everybody says Wiz Khalifa had the better out of the whole entire Fast and Furious franchise, when it comes to songs, I'm not talking about the movies.
Right.
I think Joel Santana let me say, when you heard that shit in Tokyo Drift and it was on the soundtrack, best song out of all of them. Better than Luda's. I think that shit was better than Luda's.
Yeah.
From Too Fast, Too Furious. And I have no disrespect for Luda. I love Luda. But that song, for some reason, that Joel's song always made me just want to, again, feel good.
I forgot he was on the soundtrack.
Yeah.
That was a dope song. Like, he was in his prime still, and he just let the streets get to him, and now he's having a hard time coming back.
And the fact that, he did the solo, well, almost a solo joint. He had the first 2 verses on Purple Haze.
Right, yes.
You know what I'm saying? And he blazed them shits.
Yeah.
He killed that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's like when I first heard J.R. Writer, when I was listening to Dipset. The very first song I heard from J.R. Writer was Stop and Go.
Right.
And when I heard that, I was like, yo. And now I just think that J.R. Writer lost it. I don't think he's got it anymore. The Writer's Block series was the best series he's ever had. Never had a solo album that I know of.
Right.
I could think of. And now he's doing something with Hell Rel. Yeah. And I think lyrically, the last couple of songs that I've heard them on together, Hell Rel shits all over him.
Yeah.
I don't think J.R. Writer's got it anymore.
He sounds different now. Something, I don't know if you change the style. There's something different about J.R. Writer.
Yeah, because I mean, before he was just back and forth metaphors and punchlines and double and triple entendres, and now he reminds me of a basic rapper now with a Spanish tone. That Rap Radar freestyle was terrible.
Yeah,
but Hell Rel killed it.
Mm-hmm.
Even though we know, Hell, you're not dealing bricks anymore, so stop.
Right.
But it is what it is, man.
Right.
So again, I know you feel like that about Lil Wayne. Right. Me personally, I do think he does have some touching songs. He's got some about his daughters, but I can definitely agree with you.
But it's not often. You want to hear that because I mean, there was a time when people felt like top 5 dead or alive. He was one of the best, right?
I don't know why.
He has the ability, but I'm not hearing it often from his music though. It's more of Mrs. Officer and Lollipop, and we want to hear songs with substance every once in a blue.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Not the same thing. You know what I mean? And I could agree with Lavrel about that. I'm like, I agree with him. Like, he don't have a lot of substance in his music, but to put Eminem on that list that Joe Budden was talking about, the DMX,
and didn't he say something about LL as well?
Yeah, and LL, I'm like, LL. What? We know LL. A lot of his hits, the majority of his hits was for women.
Yes,
but he has substance. He has a song called Father, where he talked about watching his father kill his mother. Okay, like his father shot his mother. And she died, and that was in his autobiography. And that was back in what, 98?
Yeah.
So, and I ended up buying that single because the B-side was 4321 remix.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that was like one of his best songs where it wasn't a song for the chicks or the club.
And again, I mean, to say he has no substance, that's crazy to me.
It's crazy.
He makes girl songs, and let's not get it twisted. Them shit is fire.
Right.
One thing I could say, if half the album is going to be bad, at least the other half is going to be really good.
Definitely.
That's the one thing about LL Cool J that I've always given him. His albums may not have been the best, but again, he does what he wants.
Right.
He doesn't go with what the label tells him. He is the label.
Facts.
Okay? He helped build Def Jam.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? He really put that into the spotlight. So anybody disrespecting LL or anybody that disrespects Rakim or Big Daddy Kane, these are pioneers that literally, if it wasn't for them, who knows where the culture would be. Same with Run. Run brought rock and roll into our genre. Nobody was doing that before. Nobody.
Yeah.
And now you'll have straight hardcore rappers rocking off to metal beats.
Yeah. I remember a couple years ago we saw Travis Scott with Ozzy Osbourne. Rest in peace, Ozzy. That was a crazy collab.
Who knows how long? Now I'm not saying that it would have never have happened, but who knows how long before the two genres came together?
Right. Right.
Now, rap and R&B have always been together.
Mm-hmm.
So but the rock and roll thing was the biggest rebellion against us.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, when we became the number one listened to genre, all of a sudden, rock and roll loves us. You know what I mean? And now country wants to be rap, and now rock wants.
You still have Gene Simmons that don't want the rap artist in the Rock and Roll.
Man, fuck Gene Simmons. Okay, first of all, Kiss is not. Listen, I am not a Kiss fan by any means. Couple of hits here and there, that's fine. Gene Simmons, shut the fuck up. All you are is a singer. You don't do anything else, and it takes an entire band for you to make the music. That's what got him in the Hall of Fame, not himself. Let's get that clear. Not you. Gene Simmons is not in the Hall. It is Kiss that is in the Hall. So for him to say something so disrespectful, I was pissed, and that's why I just came off a little aggressive.
Yeah.
Because Jay-Z is a writer. LL Cool J is a writer. Nas is a writer. All these people built that themselves.
Yeah.
And to say that they don't belong in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, we made rap, we made rock bigger than what it was. Again, that collaboration helped bridge the gap, and boom.
Yeah.
Like I said, it might have been done in the future, later on in the 90s or something like that. But now, like I said, country is trying to be rap now.
Right.
So don't tell me we don't have influence.
Right. And why didn't he say anything when the Beastie Boys got inducted and they came from punk rock to rap? Why didn't he say nothing about the Beastie Boys?
Of course he's not going to say nothing about.
And I love the Beastie Boys, but they wasn't always in rap.
Yeah. And you're going to tell me that Eminem doesn't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And again, Gene Simmons himself is not in the Hall of Fame. But Jay-Z himself, Eminem himself, Nas himself, LL himself is in. Run DMC as a group and individuals are in the Hall of Fame, but not Gene Simmons. So I agree with you, Ray. Fuck him. And if anybody feels as unsubscribe to me, don't follow me. I don't care. Kiss had a couple of good hits, never had great albums, and that's that. If you want to be, to me, AC/DC was way better than Kiss. Motley Crue was better than Kiss. Motley Crue had bigger hits. So, in my opinion. But that, yeah, and that's fine. That's fine, Reg. You can say that. But again, he is not in the Hall of Fame alone. It is with a band. So for him to run his mouth and say something like that is crazy. It's just crazy to me.
Right. I agree.
Yeah. And they did. Kiss did. They did. But again, when Gene Simmons is in that Rock and Roll Hall of Fame by himself because he played every instrument in that studio, he wrote the songs, he made the beats, he made all that, you let me know.
Right.
Other than that, that's all
we didn't pay attention to his solo album, right? I didn't listen to his solo album.
I don't even. He had a solo album. I didn't even know.
Yeah, they all had a solo album.
I didn't even know.
Yeah.
I didn't even know. You know, to me, that's like saying Beastie Boys doesn't belong in there.
Right.
Like, you mean to tell me that you didn't like Intergalactic? You're gonna tell me you didn't like Sabotage?
Classic.
Come on. You know, you can't. No, I can't stand, dude. Yeah, Linkin Park, Evanescence, they're all great.
I love
but
Linkin
again,
Park.
And then again, the collab with Linkin Park, Jay-Z. Who knows if that actually would have happened if it wasn't for Run DMC, Walk This Way. I don't know. You know,
Double
maybe
platinum. That album Collision Course went double platinum.
Yeah, after the fact.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And at that time, that song was not doing that great, you know, as a rock song. And then when Run DMC jumped on it, all of a sudden, boom, huge.
Yeah.
So again, there's a lot of stuff that we could go back. That
we got a lot of rock fans here. System of a Down.
Yeah.
I'm seeing
Salt and Pepper. It is yes.
They got in. They got in last year.
They did.
Yeah, because Spinnerella rejoined the group. They got in last.
Oh, okay.
Unk, I don't know why Unk is giving like the vomit emojis. I don't know what that's.
System of the Down. Yeah. Unk, I don't know if you don't like rock music. I love all genres of music except for country. Other than that, like today, my entire day consisted of after I talked to Triborough in the morning when we discussed what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
I was just like, I'm listening to 80s all day, nothing but 80s jams.
Nice.
And I had the best day because I was just puts you in a good mood. It puts you in I'm about to bust this shit out because my job is not easy.
Right.
So, Slipknot
should be in the Rock and Roll of Fame. Wow, Slipknot. Okay.
I used to love Slipknot. I used to love Cannibal Corpse too. But I kind of like grew out of that. I mean, I still, I loved ICP when they did. To me personally, I think ICP should be in there because when you look at them as a business and what they brought to the horrorcore, they deserve to be in there. And they wrote all their own shit, even though to some people they're corny, they're whack, and they're not great now. Nowadays, they are not great. But anybody that tells me that the Joker's card 1 through 6 was not fire, I can't agree with that. I can't. Every Joker's card was immaculate. It wasn't until Bizarre and Bizarro or Bizarre, whatever the 2 albums were called, that they really fell off.
And they went into wrestling. Remember that Vampiro was down with them?
Oh, yeah. They had a huge role. And they still do Juggalo wrestling.
Okay.
So they're still promoting wrestling.
Right.
I agree. To me, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is just cementing you as a great writer, a great artist, and a great performer. And for you to try to take that away from somebody and say that they don't belong, again, Gene, if you ever see this, go back and do your history and learn what rap did for rock and roll.
Right.
And then you tell me if we don't deserve to be in there.
Yeah.
Again, he's just, and who knows, he might have just been doing it for clickbait. And the next month we're going to hear, I didn't really mean what I said. It was taken out of context because everybody backpedals.
Yeah.
I don't backpedal. So what I say is what I say. What Try says is what Try says. We don't backpedal.
Nope.
It is what it is. Let's face facts.
Yeah, man.
So anything else?
I have to do another rock episode. I didn't realize there was so many rock fans here.
Yeah, I want to do another one. I want to have Alex on again. Alex is very, very big. If you don't know who I'm talking about, Alex over at Geeks and Flicks, Alex and Nate. They are our boys. We ride with them. I know he'll do another rock one with us at any time. And I don't know if Nate likes rock, but I could probably get him to jump in as well. But I think he likes rock music. So we could definitely do another one, but I want to do something different. Maybe really dive into the 70s.
70s rock.
Yeah, I think 70s rock, 80s, early 90s is like kind of like mid 90s is where I started to fall off because I really got into Nirvana, 311. So, I would love to do that as well as a rock sequence, all the greats from that generation of the grunge. I mean, Pearl Jam.
Pearl Jam, yeah.
Eddie Vedder's voice is probably one of the best. You know what I'm saying? So, but I think when we do another rock show, we should do 70s. I know that's Alex's specialty.
Okay.
So I think he would really enjoy doing that one with us.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to talk about real quick before we head out, or you ready to go?
No. Did you see the All-Star game? NBA All-Star game?
No, I have not watched an NBA game probably in about 5 years.
NBA All-Star game. I know they switched up the rules and they had like the team stars and stripes and the world team, and I like the format because they actually got the players serious again about the game, like it should be. But they got to fix the dunk contest. The dunk contest is garbage. It's been
Yeah,
crap for a lot of years.
that
You know,
I see.
so they got to find a way. I was saying they need the commissioner to handpick the superstars and put them in the dunk contest. And if they don't do it, you find them, because this is all for the fans. And the fans came out of their way to see you. And if you're not putting on the show for the fans, what does that say about the NBA?
You know what? Do you know what sucks about the dunk contest? And I've always said this, and I know that it's not looked at the same. I think they should bring in street ballers, dudes that we're talking like and one mixtapes for all you older heads that know what the and one mixtape was. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah.
Get somebody like that, and then have them verse each other with moves and like reignite like the passion to watch a game like that, because you do know the NBA All-Star games are the lowest viewed games.
Right.
They need to bring that spark back.
They actually this year they said the ratings was like the highest in like 15 years, I think, something like that.
Well, but that's what I'm saying. So if you go back, that's one of the lower, and like you said, I did see highlights. I saw a whole bunch of reels, with different dunks. I think was it Steph Curry that missed one, or he tried to do one and he missed totally
in the game? Steph was injured. Steph was injured, but like see the 3-point shootout now is like for All-Star Weekend. That's like the biggest main attraction, right? And Dame Lillard, who was like injured the whole season, he entered the 3-point shootout and he actually won again. So now you have Steph Curry saying, "Well, next year I'm going to enter it because I want to face Dame and Devin Booker," and that was a great event. But that I remember back in the day when it was all about the dunk contest and the 3-point shootout was secondary. Now it's like the main attraction. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like the commissioner, they have to get back on track with the dunk contest. And I like the way that they had the main All-Star game. The players took it seriously again. But we don't need 3 teams. Let's make it the world team and then against the Stars and Stripes. So you can mix Ant Edwards on the same team as LeBron, and you have Steph Curry on that team, and Kawhi Leonard had a great game. Like you see what he could do when he's healthy. He had a phenomenal game, and I felt like if his team had won, he would have been the MVP of the night.
Yeah, I don't watch basketball like that anymore. And like I said, I haven't watched the game in like 5 years. I'll watch the documentaries on Netflix, especially the starting 5 that they have on there.
Yeah,
that is a great documentary showing all the rookies. Like I love that type of stuff. But as far as watching and sitting down and watching a game, I haven't done it in so long. So I am rusty when it comes to basketball knowledge. But to me, I think they should bring that dunk contest spark back with just getting, again, and one type of guys. Find some street. I know that these basketball players that are huge know some of their homies that would run circles around some of these professionals.
Facts.
And get them just for a night to let them show their skills and have fun.
Right. I agree.
And bring that spark back.
Yeah.
But again, until the commissioner does something, it's just like I say about my Dallas Cowboys. I love my Cowboys. But if Jerry does not get the fuck out of running that team, we are never going to be anybody.
Right.
Ever again.
Yeah.
And until that happens, we are going to keep overpaying our wannabe quarterback, and we don't have anybody anymore.
I feel sorry for Dak, because Dak is actually a good quarterback. He's just on a bad team.
He is, but he never applies it.
Right.
And now he's scared of everything. Second somebody even comes at him, he's scared now.
Yeah.
He's like, he reminds me of Romo. Romo was so good. His first 3-4 years, he was dominating. Then he got that one bad injury, and after that, he threw everything away.
Yeah.
Everything away because he got scared.
Right.
This is part of the game. You're going to get injured. You don't want to get out of the game and let somebody that's willing to take that punishment in the game instead of you being worried about your $50 million a year money hungry contracts.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that sports are not about sports anymore. It's all about the money. When Michael Jordan played, Scottie Pippen, all them guys back in the days, they didn't make all this money. You know what I'm saying? Jordan made all the money because of the sneaker deals.
Yeah.
Not solely off of being a Chicago Bulls.
Right.
It was the sneaker deal that
and he had Gatorade. Yeah, like the other endorsements.
Yes, endorsements. Yes.
Yeah.
But again, if you go watch the documentary, you'll see that Scottie Pippen was highly underpaid.
Yeah.
And look at the skill he possessed.
Mm-hmm.
Rodman was underpaid. You know what I'm saying? Everybody in the NBA was underpaid at one point or another. But now it's all about, I'll go with any team. Look at LeBron. He'll go with any team as long as they pay him. He'll go with any team.
Now they say he's going back to Cleveland to play with Harden next year. I'm like, come on, man. They still not winning.
No. And again, it takes a team, but it also takes somebody that doesn't sit out on the side of the bench for a little bellyache.
Right.
So again,
yeah,
LeBron's great, but he's no Kobe. He's no Jordan. I'm sorry. It just no. Anything else, my brother? Yo, and
as they said,
East Coast.
Yeah,
need the East Coast.
Yeah, bring the East West again and let them wear their team jerseys. None of this whole all-star uniforms. I don't like that. Like, let them wear their own team.
So again, please don't crucify me on the NBA shit.
Yeah.
So now they can't even wear their own like team jersey.
There was a time when it was, but they were doing that once in the blue where they would wear the All-Star game uniforms and then they would wear their own stuff. But now it's like full All-Star game uniforms. I'm like, get rid of that. Bring back the team jersey. Let them wear their own team uniforms.
Again, I just think that they should bring some spark back. Yeah. You know, like I said, make that shit fun because I love the dunk competitions, especially Shaq. You know, when he used to do it, like because this is because he was so tall. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. They need to bring some spark back.
Oh, yeah.
But anyways, anything you want to say before we head out?
We had another great show. Salute to everybody that showed up.
Listen, we appreciate everybody that showed up, especially our brothers that have really been supporting us and been behind us and watched the rewatches. I'm watching the numbers. We really appreciate it. And if you could subscribe to Raw Takes Unfiltered, along with both of our channels, you're probably watching from either his channel or my channel, but go over to Raw Takes Unfiltered. We are really trying together build that into our private podcast and never have to stream on anybody else's stuff anymore to get the numbers.
Right.
But we really appreciate y'all. And next week's episode is going to be another fun one because we are going to see what's going on for the week and talk about it. Yeah. We won't be doing that all the time, but we just figured there was so much craziness going on this week. We just had to touch. We just had to touch the topics. We had to. But anyways, I appreciate you, my brother, as always, and everybody that came through. Much love. We will see you next Friday, and go watch our videos too, man. Yes. You try be doing some crazy lives, and I'll be putting together some nice. Styles P, man, go show some love.
Yes, I love that one. and the Home Alone one, I like that one too.
Yeah. I focused on Kevin McAllister, not the parents, not the trouble, but just Kevin McAllister. So appreciate it. But much love to y'all, man. We'll see you on the next one. Peace. Yes, sir.